Hello, the Shaman Guru here. This is part 2 of the results with magic and ritual series. Now, the first part was all about how your results are going to manifest. Now, this part is going to be basically the initiation phase. Why nothing's working in the beginning. So you basically go through an initiation. I'm calling it that, but it's not specifically that. You're gonna initiate into a current, so to speak. I'm using the word current because that's a concept people understand. A current of energy, a thought wave. Your mind has to go from a place of indoctrination into a place of unindoctrination. Indoctrination is a huge blockage. You're going to have to unindoctrinate. Forget what you know is normal. That's a blockage too. Believe it or not, all these things are blockages, and they're blocking you from getting results, especially in the beginning. You're going to have to let go. Open up. You're very closed off. You expect certain things based off of your Christian upbringing, your what was okay, what's not okay. All these different things get ingrained to you as a person. Expectations, in Christian church, you believe that the demons are always lurking around. They're tempting you all the time. So when you want to go and be an occultist, you believe that, they're always wanting me anyway. I know they're always recruiting to fight this spiritual battle. So, they're going to come immediately when I call them. They're going to want me. Especially being as I'm a past Christian, I can use that against them. But when you come to the occult, you quickly realize that's not how it is. There is no spiritual battle to that sense. There are disagreements, of course, but not the way Christians say. That doesn't exist. Nobody's out here trying to recruit. Nobody's out here doing all that. Now, on a deeper level, you start to understand that you have a lot to learn. You have to rethink, regroup, and what it is basically you're gonna, during this initiation phase, you have to really decide who it is you want to be, and if you really want this. That's the biggest thing about the initiation phase. You have to let go of a lot of thought forms, fake, false thought forms, beliefs, your lack of willpower that has been ingrained into you by the use of phones, social media, a quick need for attention. You have to learn patience. Being able to sit in one spot and meditate. Focus. Focus is hard for a lot of people in this generation. A lot of times it's the nutrition that'll fuck people up. Now, I say that because in America, I know not in Russia anymore, but a lot of places they use GMOs, and that's just a word for genetically modified organism, or whatever the hell the O means. But these GMOs, it's pesticides, chemicals. The farmers can't even go out for 2 weeks to their farm because of how toxic the chemicals really are. They radiate, they will fucking kill you. Like, that's how potent these chemicals are, and we're ingesting that. The people who be, the powers who be, they want to dumb you down, take away your spiritual power, your ability to be tapped in. It really slows and bogs you down. So fasting is something great to get into, and you'll really see how far off you really are, and how fasting and changing your diet can help alone. But in the initiation phase, you're going to have to learn a few things, and you're going to have to show a few things. You're going to have to learn how to be determined, willpower, how to be patient, focused, non-judgmental, open, receiving, all these different things, because there are forces in this initiation phase. Because remember, you're changing currents, thought forms, whatever you want to call it, a whole archetype. You are initiating into, not a certain spirit, Like I said, it's not a certain spirit. You're not going to initiate with Sandalphon and McCooth. Okay? You are initiating into magic, the occult. So you need to be patient. You're going to keep doing rituals even though they don't work. You need to show that you're dedicated, determined, patient. And you have to have this fire in you to want this so bad that nothing's going to stop you. You're going to overcome. And what that does is after a period of time, you are going to overcome. You're going to start learning things. You're going to start having moments of clarity. But you have to stick through the hard parts. And honestly, when it gets the toughest and you want to give up, you want to quit, you have gotten to the last drop and you're like, I just want to quit. Nothing's working. It's never going to fucking work. That's when you want to stick it out the most and just try your goddamnness, because that's when you're close. That's when you're really close. Now, for all people, they don't go through that. But if you're going through that, you need to try harder, because you're right there. And you use that fire, that anger within you, generate energy, generate a passion, generate a need to get an outcome. That patience to sit there and get in trance. Another thing is, a lot of people, they don't understand that visualization is important. Meditation is important. Getting into a trance state so you have better access to psychic abilities that you may not have that much while you're in your waking common beta state. You know, that there's an alpha state, which is concentrated. You have a theta gamma state, which is where you want to be. And that's when you can hear spirits, you can see spirits, sort of, depending on how clairvoyant you are. And also, you need to understand that when you're doing an evocation, when they say you see it in your mind's eye, you're not seeing it. You know, they're not saying your pineal gland has to be open and that's how you see spirits. No, they're saying that it's hard to explain. The mind's eye is the best way to explain it, but you're going to see an image right here. You'll have your eyes open, but you'll see an image like in your fucking mind. It's hard to explain. And you'll start to feel and know and sense an outline of a being. And within your mind, you'll start to generate a picture. It's like if you picture an apple while your eyes are open, you can start to build it and see what it looks like while looking in front of you. It's like that, okay? That's what you have to kind of be open to, because if you have expectations, you're not going to pick up on that. You're going to overlook shit like that because it's very subtle, very small, especially in the beginning. It's not as potent as you would like to be of an experience. But when you're open and your awareness is shot out in every direction, you have a clear awareness, clear mind, silent, patient, you've gone through your ritual, done your conjuration, called the name of the spirit you're trying to call forth, you've done all that stuff. While you're sitting there, you might feel a definite outline begin to generate. And then after you feel that, you can focus on it. And as you're focusing intently, the more you've done this, the easier it will be to take that image and project it outwards, okay? And then that's how you actually can take that to the next level and generate an image out in front of you. Now, in the beginning, it's not going to be that easy, but of course you can work with spirits for that. But another thing is, most of the time you don't need a physical evocation in order to get your results to occur. But initiation phase, you have to understand, coming into the occult, you are not nowhere near who you need to be, okay? Nowhere near who you want to be. Nowhere near who you're gonna be by the time you pass away and go on to your either next life or the astral realm to live as a spirit that you are underneath all the skin for the rest of, your days. you're not going to, there's a lot you need to fix, a lot you need to work on. The occult is not an easy path. If you came here thinking it's going to be easy, you got the wrong mindset. You really do. Especially if you just want money and a house and cars and shit like that. You're in it for the wrong reasons. Now, that can change, and it definitely will. But, I mean, that draws most people. But if you think everything's going to be easy, you're wrong. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be hard. It doesn't have to be. You just need a passion and a drive. If you have a passion, a drive, a will, and a strong enough one, you will accomplish great things in the occult. But most of it comes from you. You need to be the kind of person that you can see being successful. What does that mean? That means I'm telling you to shift your awareness outside of this first person awareness. Meaning, look at some guy, okay? Say you have a friend, and he's joining the occult, but he doesn't have psychic abilities at the moment. Now, those can be prevented, as you know, from blockages, thought forms, walls and barriers within his own mind that are blocking him, whether it's trauma, it's the way he was growing up, the way he sees the world, when he's not willing to be open to what he thinks is normal, all these different things, even his disbelief in himself and the fact that he could ever gain a psychic ability is a huge blocker. But all these different things, imagine that person. What do you think he needs to go through in order to be successful? I mean, you don't think that he could expect it to be immediate, do you? No. But you're only that realistic while looking at him. Now, also looking at him, do you think that he could achieve it and become psychic and have abilities if he just puts himself to it and wants it bad enough and just tries and keeps doing spells and keeps doing rituals, even if they fail, if he keeps trying, will he get what he wants? Yes, he will. Now, that's because you're being realistic and you're looking at somebody else. So what I'm telling you to do is stop looking at yourself from this very harsh, inward, first-person appearance and look at yourself as if you were somebody else from time to time. And that gives you a better awareness of what you can do, one, and number two, what you have to do. And then you'll start doing things that you actually need to do rather than copping out a plea because you're bored or you're lazy or you want to give up when you just began. You don't want to give up when you just began. You haven't even tried long enough. You haven't stuck around to see if the results are going to come. So it's my recommendation that you stick with it and you try it. If you really, really want it, you have to go through that initial test. You have to break down everything that doesn't need to be there. And you have to show that you are the kind of person that is deserving of occult knowledge. A lot of spirits oftentimes, even your higher self, will block you from your psychic abilities. Your higher self will block you from gaining psychic knowledge, occult knowledge, until you're ready. So you need to have a conversation with your higher self to have, a channel open and start feeding you with moments of clarity, moments of understanding and wisdom, and guide you along this path. Call out for spirits for guidance, and that alone will give you a fast track to it, because it'll help, cushion you, and it'll keep you going on a path. But you need to find that motivation within you. If you're lacking motivation, you need to do a visualization exercise of visualizing yourself at the very end of the road, how that will look, who you want to be, who you will become. Don't say who I might become or who I want to become, who I will become, and just visualize that. Take time to really picture it and tell yourself, and then picture what it would be like if none of that happened. And now go through both of those scenarios and see which one you want. What do you want? The initiation phase is all about breaking down all the bullshit, tearing it away, and showing the forces that be, the energetic current that is, that you are prepared for this. You are ready for this. And you are ready to be initiated into the occult. Most people don't know that there's an initiation phase. Most people will try and then they'll give up. You don't want to be just fucking like everybody. You don't want to be like everybody. That's the thing. Trying to be normal, trying to fit in, it's for the birds. I don't want to be like everybody. I want to stand out. I want to be myself. I'm not trying to please anybody. If I'm trying to please everybody, I'm going to be a failure within myself. And that's the first step to pleasing everybody. Don't worry about that. Just worry about yourself. Worry about growing and becoming who you need to be. Whatever that takes. Alright, that's all.